So joandy, you're reading Hank the Cow Dog. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking about this book.
Well, I only know Hank, a couple of coyotes, and I think his name is Drover.
So it sounds like you're learning the names of the characters and thinking a little bit about them. Yeah.
Well, so far I know that Hank is a dog that works a lot and does lots of stuff. That's pretty much all I know.
Interesting. So tell me if I'm getting this right, joandy. It sounds like when you read stories, one of the things that you do is you try to learn about the characters first, and you try to find, as much important information about the characters as you can. Is that true? So you mentioned that Hank's a dog that works a lot. How did you know that?
Because a couple of, and I think it's in the first page, it says that it's me again, Hank the Cow Dog. I just got some terrible news. There's been a murder on the ranch. I know I shouldn't blame myself, but I mean, a dog is only a dog. He can't be everywhere at once. So that tells me he does lots of work, because he's kind of complaining of how he can't be everywhere at once.
Wow, you just did something really interesting that I'm curious about. There wasn't anything in what you just read me that said, I do a lot of work, but you figured out that he does a lot of work from some of the other words. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Well, I kind of know that because since you can't be everywhere at once, that in my own life, some of my siblings just tell me to do this and that when I'm only doing one thing.
So you're connecting to your own life there a little bit. But something you did that I think was really important there that readers always have to do is you sort of have to read between the lines. That's what they call it. Like, it doesn't say he works a lot, but you get clues when he says things like, I have to be everywhere at once, that tells you that he works a lot. There's a fancy word for that. That's called when you infer something, when you figure out something that the author did not say. Right? Are there any other parts just in these first few pages where you figured out something that the author didn't exactly say? You know what? Take a second. Just look through those first few pages you've already read. See if you can find another place where you figured out something that the author did not exactly say.
Oh, I found one. It says, you add that all up and you don't get Superman. Just me. Good old easygoing Hank, who works hard, tries to do his job.
There it is about him working. So wait a minute, does that part connect to this part about can't be everywhere at once? Connecting parts. Tell me about that.
So when I first read this page a while ago, I didn't understand of I can't be everywhere at once, but then once I read that part, it gave me I thought that being everywhere at once sounds like working, so he probably works a lot.
Wow, so in other words, when you got to that second part, you connected back to the first part about being everywhere at once. Wow. One of the things, I think I talked to you about this once before, that one of the things that readers really have to do to read harder and harder books is know which parts to connect. Because especially when you get into chapter books, authors they don't make things as easy as they make them in picture books, right? They expect that the reader is going to know which parts to connect, right? Just like you connected the everywhere at once part to the working hard part, right? So knowing which parts to connect are pretty important. I have a thought. How would you like to do a little project in this book where you look for connecting parts?
That kind of sounds fun.
Yeah, I think so too, right? How about this? At the end of each chapter, maybe we could do this for like the first 3 chapters. At the end of each chapter, go back and look for 3 connecting parts. What do you think?
Yeah, Sounds like a game too.
A little bit like a game, right? So at the end of every chapter, you have to go back and think, what are 3 parts that connect? You already found 2 that connect right here, so you already started, right? You're already on the way. So here's what I'm thinking. When you find the connecting parts, we can even color code it, right? Like I'll give you 3 pink Post-its. That could be for chapter 1. 3 blue. That could be for chapter 2. And
3 yellow for chapter 3.
you got it, exactly. So your job is put the Post-its on the connecting parts and just write a couple of words about how they connect.
So I already found 1.
You got it.
So where is it? Okay.
Great. And Joandy, you know what? Doing this work is going to be very important for you because it's going to help you practice connecting parts that aren't so obvious how they go together. Sometimes, just like in this example, you're connecting because they're all about him working, but one of the parts you're connecting doesn't even say he works. You just figured it out, right? So you get to decide how the parts connect, right? And doing this work is going to help you practice connecting parts, which is going to help you read even harder and harder chapter books. Make sense?
It kind of does.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Bye now.
Bye.
Okay.